Good morning. I've worked a couple days here, pushed through the existing road, and I've got about 1,000 feet that I've got to go through this planted pine. So I might also, anybody trying to learn how to run a dozer and smooth up or something like that, well, I'm not getting this terribly smooth. It's going to be a logging road, but if you've ever run a dozer, you'll see where you start getting them dips in it. I might give you a little lesson on how to not do that. Okay, so this is for like older dozers, probably not those new dozers that have the GPS for the blade that kind of keeps it level. This is just for you manually keeping a grade with the dozer. This is a Hotsun D53. We've got two of these dozers. The other one is a D58. They're basically the same. So let's hop in. I'll show you what I was talking about. I'll go over some of the controls here, because some of the more modern dozers actually just have two joysticks on each side that control the entire machine. So here we've got the steering clutches on this dozer, like the older dozers, the HD11s, the Alice Chalmers. They would have your clutches here, and you would have to hit the brake to turn. This machine, when you pull this, it engages that brake, so you don't have to hit these brakes unless you really need that extra stopping to turn or something. It will turn on its own just by pulling these sticks. All right, you got the throttle, and anybody that's ran a dozer, you also got a decelerator pedal. So it's not an accelerator pedal, decelerator. So you'll have, usually you just pull your back wide open, maybe 3/4 or whatever, and then here you got your transmission. It's forward and reverse, so 3 forward gears, 3 reverse gears. Most of the time, like when I was coming through, when I'll be pushing through the trees, I'll be in first. Sometimes I'll come back in a second, but like grading the road, a lot of times I will be running it in second. And third's just for travel. Now your blade over here, so up and down, you got tilt. This is a 6-way blade. So you got tilt, and then this is your angle. So as you're running, I'll be kind of like going back and forth, just hitting these levers back and forth, just however it feels that what I need to do as I'm driving, as I'm running. All right, so let me show you what I was talking about. If anyone's ever ran a dozer before, and you'll get to doing this, like you'll be making waves. So what I was always taught running the HD11s is you sit here and bump it up and down to lift. So as you're grading, you're just kind of wiggling it up and down. So if you need to go down, you just kind of bump and push down. If you need to come up, you just keep bumping and you kind of pull it up. And with this 6-way blade, you also be doing a little bit of wobbling back and forth. And as you're running, you can feel it. And as you get better, with whatever particular dozer you're running, you'll get used to the way that dozer runs. So eventually you might be able to barely move the stick and be able to keep it level. But let me show you. well, there you go, guys. Stick around, watch the rest of the video, and hope you enjoy. Here, take a look at what I've done the last couple days. Right here was a gully, had been washing through here. I've got the road turned just a little bit, try to shed the water off through that wing ditch there on the right. And this road was cut in here before when they logged all this timber. And a lot of times loggers, they just cut a road down, and I mean, it happens, it's gonna happen. They just cut it down to hard ground, and then as it gets through the winter and muddy and all, they just keep cutting the mud away until finally, oh shoot, look at that. About a 6-pointer, I think. He was a pretty good sized buck. But yeah, like right here, you're just down on a cut, and that's what I did here. I just went back in and cut it back down to solid ground. They'll be able to pull out of here. They probably have to put some stone on it through the winter. I think they said they probably won't even gonna move in on this job until January. And right here, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And I noticed as I was, and see, you see here where it's cut down on a hole. Before I left yesterday, running back and forth in here, it's wet and it's been dry, so I don't know how it's holding so much water. I guess just being cut down in here, I may have to do a little more here. I've pushed several more inches off of this, but it's, I mean, the further I go, I mean, it's still just a wet clay. So it's liable to be a problem area here. I'll show you something here though. That is basically solid rock. So I'm not gonna dig down to it this evening, but if the logger gets here, he's just gonna have to keep shoving it. That's why it's in this deep of a cut here. It's probably a vein of water in here, and that rock is holding this water in this cut. But anyway, and see if I can cut it down to a little more solid. I wasn't going to do anything through here because it was smooth, but as I was driving, it was just kind of a muddy topsoil, and I figured I needed to cut down to maybe some red dirt, but I didn't find it yesterday. I might have to hit this before the job's over. I might have to hit it again. And you can see right here, this is red clay here. So I cut all this, got a wing ditch turned there, and they had closed this job out with water bars to turn the water off the road, but some of them were so steep that you don't want to drive over them with a loaded log trailer. You break springs and other things. So I cut a lot of those out just so they can get in and out of here. I left a little turn right here with the wing ditch. I mean, the road's going to come all to pieces, you know, by the end of the job, and it'll have to be closed out and smoothed up again, and water bars put back in it. So all this, there were 2 crossings. We went through one, and this is the second one. There's a pipe in there, but it's, I'm not going to dig into the creek channel because it's actually water flowing through it. The mouth of the pipe is covered up, but I feel like the previous job, they had riprap in there, so the water is filtering through that riprap. These loggers will probably just put mats down to go across that, because all they're going to do here is just, you know, this will be the haul road out. All right. So I got to go through those pines, and let's get out of here. We stood here the other week, and it's just so thick, and briars and stuff in there, that we weren't gonna walk through that, so we had to plat. So that white line is the road we just drove, and then there's that red line is what I got to do now. And there's hardwood timber through there they're trying to get out. So we stood here where I'm at. That would be at the end of that little white line. And with the compass on the phone, I believe it was this direction. I'll check again, but I think it was through this little clearing here. 195 degrees straight through there for 1,000 feet. So let me get some fuel in the dozer, and that's going to be the plan for today. Hopefully I can get through there, no troubles. All right. What I'm going to do here now, I'm going to run through, kind of zigzag through in this direction and kind of find maybe where I'm going, so I can not build a road into the wrong place. So it's a hill and I got to crest over, and once I crest over it, I should be able to see some hardwoods out there. But as you can see, there's no way I'm walking through this. It's all briars. I'm not going to do that right now. right, so this is the flat that I need to reach. The dozer is kind of over there. So I need to stay almost on the track that I was. I started coming up the hill too much. That's why I wanted to come through and look. So I'll head back to the dozer. I've seen a little bit of this all over. It's another one over here, big one, big scratch there. Look at that. Just a little guy though. If some of these other trees like this was scraped up, that would be a monster in here somewhere. Yeah, it could be a big one. He could just be smacking it lightly. Let's see, scuffing it up there. This is his territory. Yeah, so I gotta be out over there a little further. All right, so I've pretty much committed on doing this. It's a slope here, and what I'm doing is going around the contour. Instead of going straight up and over, I'm going around a contour here, and I gotta go back through this way. I've got the, where I was on that flat is like right through there. I have it marked, or not really marked, but on a app, I can see where I was over there and kind of track myself as I'm going. So this is the way the road's going to be built. I actually like doing it around the contour like this because I can get the water off of it. I hate to go up straight up and then have just the water running straight down the track. Alright, so all I've done now is just brushed through and got to the hardwood timber here. So now I'm gonna skip through. I'm gonna go and widen this out a little bit, maybe push some of these trees back and clean it up, and then I'll get to like actually grading the road, guys. So stay around. All right, so I've done a little work here. This is the landing. pushed this all off, packed it in tight, all the stump holes. I also widened up the path for the road, so we're going to get in there now and start grading. I did hit a couple licks as I came back up here. But, get grading. All right, just finished for the evening. It's getting to pick up. We're right up the road here. Not too bad. I didn't realize it was such a hilltop here though. See if you can see. You see that? All right, guys, please give a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one.